So the San Francisco 49ers just got great news, and I'm going to explain why on today's San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Happy Sunday to the faithful. Thanks for tuning in, and regardless of where you are or how you're tuned in, thank you so much for supporting the show. I hope you're all having a great weekend. The other day, I started the show by asking you which year you became a Niner fan. And on today's show, I want to ask you, who is your favorite Niners player of all time? So why have the Niners received some great news? Let's dive into it. You think about how this organization is run. John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, Paraag, this front office, Jed York, the owner. The Niners have always been bullish on contract negotiations with their own players. They don't like to go north of their asking price. They will draw out these contract negotiations, as we know, this offseason with Brandon Aiyuk, as well as Trent Williams, in previous offseasons with George Kittle, Fred Warner, Deebo Samuel, Nick Bosa. But the 49ers, on top of that, running a business that they see as just and fit, they have found ways to get creative with the salary cap. And while they're sticklers with some of the deals that they hand out, they do spend lavishly. And that's a big reason why the 49ers are in the position that they're in right now with so much talent, but a lot of highly paid premium price tag players on this Niners roster. And San Francisco, let's be real, has rewarded a lot of their homegrown players, and they've been big spenders in NFL free agency. The 49ers have also done a good job of drafting and developing talent with this regime while replenishing that cupboard at a higher rate, and that's gone a long way in the 49ers becoming a consistent winner and contender, going to 4 NFC championship games and 2 Super Bowls over the last 5 years. I know that they haven't won that 6th Lombardi trophy, and people are going to knock them on that, but over the last half decade, they've been arguably the second best organization in the sport behind the Kansas City Chiefs, who during that time frame have 3 Super Bowls and 2 of them coming against the San Francisco 49ers. And you think about modern day, as I record this show on August 4th of 2024, the Niners are in a situation where they've had all of this success. They're looking to get over the hump. And right now, they've had to pay George Kittle, Fred Warner, Deebo Samuel, Nick Bosa, all in recent years. And now after a Christian McCaffrey contract extension, Jauan Jennings contract extension, Brandon Aiyuk is looking for a new bag. Trent Williams is looking to get paid and compensated for now being an underpaid left tackle in the National Football League. And a player like Deommodore Lenoir also looking to cash in after having 3 stellar seasons to begin his career. And of course, the big one down the road, Brock Purdy. All of that sounds impossible to keep all of these players around, keep these players compensated, keep these players paid and happy. But what if I told you there could be a way for the Niners to continue to spend big and have premium players on this roster? That's the great news that I'm talking about on today's show. The NFL Players Association has started to engage in high-level discussions with the NFL about the potential implementation of an 18-game regular season schedule. That's what the NFLPA's executive director said. The NFLPA, NFL Players Association, they represent the players. So the players might be down for this. Now, the immediate reaction from a lot of people might be 18 games. It's too much. It's going to impact the health and safety of the players. They're not going to want to do that. While some of that might be true, the NFLPA is engaging in this because another game equals more money, equals more revenue, equals a higher salary cap. And what does a higher salary cap mean? More money for the players, but also optionality for organizations when it comes down to their team building strategies. And anytime you have more money, you can hand out more dough and have a little bit more creative spending and flexibility. Here's what Lloyd Howe, who is the executive director of the NFL Players Association, had to say about the schedule expanding to 18 games. And I imagine it would include 2 bye weeks. The simple fact of the matter is when you have a growing enterprise and there are opportunities within that intervening period of time where progress could be made and you could tweak the existing CBA legal document, why wouldn't you want to do that? I call it bargaining. I call it amendments. I call it updates to what is now a living document called a CBA. That's the collective bargaining agreement for those not familiar. Yeah, I want to be able to have our membership in a position to jump on it when we can, not wait until their playing days are done. And it's like you go through that cycle all over again. That's what he had to say about adding an 18th game. Now, why is this great news for the 49ers furthermore? Currently, right now, the Niners actually have the most cap space in the National Football League among 32 teams at $52.2 million. That money can be rolled over to 2025 when the 49ers currently are $38.9 million over the salary cap. Now in 2026, early projections here, of course, $43.5 million. And then in 2027, the Niners have $196+ million in cap space. Of course, those figures, looking ahead into the distant future, that's without contract extensions, that's without cuts, that's without trades, that's without imminent roster changes and other ways to massage the cap, pull off salary cap gymnastics to open up even more cap space. Also important to note that when the NFL a couple of years ago expanded to 17 games, players did receive an extra paycheck, but the additional paycheck did not count towards team salary caps. So 18 games equals more revenue, equals a salary cap increase, and that is really good news for John Lynch as well as Kyle Shanahan. And the NFL salary cap increase by year has been incredible. The NFL is a business that has been absolutely booming. You go back to as early as 2011, the NFL salary cap was $120.375 million. Next year, it goes up slightly in 2012 to $120.6. After that, $123. 2014, it jumps up $10 million from the previous season to $133 million. In 2015, $10 more million up to $143.28. In 2016, $155.27. So about a $12 million increase. Another $12 million increase after that year over year from 2016 to 2017 to $167 million. In 2018, $177.2. 2019, $188.2. 2020, $198.2. Interestingly enough, in 2021, because of the COVID season, the salary cap actually went down $16 million to $182.5 because no fans could go to games. So a lot of NFL teams lost out on a lot of revenue. But then in 2022, it goes up to $208. In 2023, up to $224.8. And then in 2024, up to $255.4. And naturally, as the salary cap goes up, teams are going to have more money. And salaries for these players are going to continue to go up. That's why some people are theorizing that a Dak Prescott or a Brock Purdy could be in the market for $60 million per year. But 10 years down the road, that $60 million per year salary for a really good to elite quarterback in this league, if you win a lot and hopefully win a Super Bowl in the sake of the Niners, it's going to end up being a really good deal because these contracts are going to continue to be stupid and we can't overreact to them in that current moment when those deals are signed. Additionally, on top of all of this, breaking news this week that has huge implications for the National Football League. A federal judge in the NFL's Sunday Ticket class action lawsuit has overturned the jury's $4.7 billion verdict. The judge says that the jury did not follow instructions and miscalculated damages. That's a huge turn of events because if the NFL had to fork over $4.7 billion, that would have impacted the salary cap. And the salary cap either would not have increased on the current trajectory and path that it's on right now, or it could have gone down, which would have impacted a team like the Niners greatly because they need as much money as possible to continue to field a winner with so many Hall of Famers, Pro Bowlers, All-Pros like the Niners currently have on this team. Wanted to break that down and bring you this great news here on the Niners Report because everybody's freaking out about the financial implications of all these players wanting deals, but Business is skyrocketing in the National Football League, and this is great news for the Niners. Hope all of you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'll be back tomorrow on Monday with another edition of the Niners Report. Don't forget to hit that sub button, and thanks for watching.